Hello, Lake Avenue Church. I hope you're doing well. You know, one of the things I'm really enjoying on the days that I'm working from home, I'm able to make lunch for the boys and for my wife. And I'm enjoying having lunch with my kids in the middle of the week. This is something that for many of us just doesn't happen. And it was during lunch that I was sharing with one of my sons about how it's not all bad in this season. In fact, that there's some things that I am personally enjoying as a result of kind of being quarantined. And he challenged me, how is that possible? He's very extroverted. And I said, well, think about it. I'm having lunch with you right now. Think about how much time we get as a family. I get a glimpse and watch your mom work. I've never been able to be a fly on the wall in her profession. And so to see her teach, even over Zoom, I'm so impressed. I think about the extra time I'm able to spend on doing some things in my own backyard and in my garden and the joy of doing that. That there's some things that have begun in quarantine that, God willing, when we come back to normal, I'm not going to want to lose. I'm not going to want to lose this time of connection with you. And through that conversation, I think we came to an agreement that although this is not ideal, that we're experiencing some change in this season, and change in a way, the kind of change that hopefully will be lasting for years and a lifetime to come. I pray that those kinds of things are true for you, that in the midst of difficulty, that in the midst of a season we would never choose, that you are experiencing God and the life to the full that Jesus promises, in ways that would forever change you, in ways you'll never want to go back. I've heard your stories this week. It's been an encouraging week. There has not been a day that has gone by where I haven't received an email or a text message or a conversation with someone or from someone through someone about just how much you at Lake Avenue Church are connecting with one another, connecting with our mission, so the way you're continuing to support financially, even find creative ways to serve your neighbors and to serve our partners here at Lake Avenue Church. I am blown away that we do not seem to be a church that's just waiting around, but that God really is answering our prayer, that we would be a church in motion. So I'm so grateful, and our prayers are with you. We continue to pray that during this season you will thrive, that through this season you will become closer to God and closer in relationship with people and closer in relationship to God's mission in this world. Hey, I want to just briefly share with you some information around this weekend, next week, and future weekends. Just good housekeeping information. First, I want you to know I have preached 7 weeks in a row. That's actually the longest I have preached in a row since being a high school pastor, and I got to tell you, I've enjoyed every moment of it. I'm struggling with this news. I won't be preaching this weekend or next weekend. Pastor Matthew John will bring the word this weekend. Pastor Greg Waybright will bring the word the weekend after. I will be back preaching on Mother's Day, May 10th. But it has been a good choice to just take a pause, to work for our next series, which will be beginning on Mother's Day. I'll share with you about that next week. And also just to get a little space to focus on some of the key areas that we are discerning and praying and planning towards in terms of the future of our church. And so I'll be in the services both weekends participating, but I'm really grateful for these pastor friends of mine to come in and to teach us. Pastor Greg actually started our series when I was in Kenya on the Sermon on the Mount, and I'm grateful that he will be concluding our series as well. And so look forward to seeing you in worship this weekend, but wanted to make you aware of that change. I also wanted to make you aware that next week we have a few really important things I want you to be aware of. Some things I want you to be praying for. Some things I'm asking you to continue to participate in. First, on Tuesday night, our ministry council will be meeting. We've gathered a couple of times during this entire time, but this is a regularly scheduled meeting. And it's in that meeting where us as a full council will begin to come together and to hear updates from staff, to also begin to discern what God is teaching us, how God is leading us, what it means to be Lake Avenue Church, not only in this moment, but what are those forever changes that He is maybe doing in us as a congregation, new things we're doing that we're not going to want to change once we come back. Obviously, we're following the guidance of the state and our city and our county But as we begin to prepare for what it looks like to be the church in coming weeks and months, Tuesday night's a big night. Please continue to pray for our ministry council. Pray for your leaders of the church. That's on Tuesday night. On Wednesday, be on the lookout. Our Wednesday update will be, we'll have a guest that week. It will be Linda Nuremberg, our Director of Finance. And I've asked Linda to bring a more comprehensive update to all of us as to where we stand financially. I'm sure you're asking that question. I can give you a bit of a teaser that there's a lot of good news she's going to be sharing with us. But Linda will be bringing a full update as to where our giving is. How have we been trending? How are we compared to this time last year? What's going on? And to share with you some updates in that vein. A lot of you have been asking, and Linda will be answering on Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that update on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, obviously, we have our prayer night. I am so proud, I have to tell you, I am so proud that the Lord led us to have a prayer night during this season. They have been incredible. This last week being led by so many of our missionaries and our campus pastors and our international staff, the richness of this body of Christ to lead one another in these times of prayer have been rich. Sure, there is a temptation to do another message and to have another service midweek, but we have really sensed God call us to come together, not to do more listening, but to do more praying. So if you haven't joined us on one of those Wednesday nights, I encourage you to do that, to join us 6 o'clock to 7. That's when it's live. Now, the beautiful thing is if you can't make it 6 to 7, it will be on YouTube forever after, and you can continue to pray if you can't join us live. I also want to make you aware that on Thursday, we have another Gold Line concert. We had such positive feedback from so many different kinds of people, really not only in our community, but far-reaching. The number from our Gold Line concert during Holy Week blew us away. And so Dwayne has gotten back to work, got some of our musicians that serve here at Lake Avenue Church, and they're bringing a Gold Line concert on Thursday at noon for about 30 minutes. So, hey, if you've got your kids, especially my kids' age is really sweet for this. It's a little bit music appreciation. It's a little bit music history. It is all just joy and wonder. And so please plan your day to be with us for that Gold Line concert. It's a beautiful break, and it really leverages the gifts that God has given us in this church family. And it also helps us just survive this season through art together. We need more art. When it comes to the regular things of May at Lake Avenue Church, and there are many regular things, we have our women's tea, we have Green Oak Ranch. I mean, obviously all of those things have been postponed. And I've got to tell you, I'm so grateful for our lay leadership and our teams that have been so understanding and flexible and innovative. In fact, I look forward for the Green Oak team to bring you the update very soon as to what Green Oak looks like. Green Oak Ranch at home. And it sounds like it's going to be amazing, a way for us to engage with one another and have a camp-type experience, even without being camping all together. But as we look ahead at the normal things of May, of June, I'm sure we're all thinking of the same things. What about camps? What about VBS? What about this? Know that we are moving forward, in wisdom and the guidance of our leadership in our state and in our city and in our county. But we're also not just waiting around for that information. I am proud to be part of a church with such innovative leaders, people who love serving God and love doing the things that God has called them to do and are looking for ways to do those things differently and uniquely in the season we find ourselves in. I pray this. I pray that over this weekend, one, you would find some shade and stay cool. I can't believe how warm it is and how warm it is going to be. But in the midst of the change of weather, in the midst of being stuck with maybe a different scenery around us, that some of the new things that have become part of your life, the new good things, the times of connecting with God, the times of connecting with one another, the playing with your children, the Zooming with your grandchildren, the cooking together as a family, the creative ways in which you're serving your neighbors and your neighborhood together as a family, that you would continue on, that you would find sweet moments together this weekend of connection and of living life. I believe when Jesus promised that he is here to give us life and life to the full, that life to the full is something that we can continue to experience even in the midst of quarantine, even in the midst of a global pandemic, that God is still writing his story, and he is still on the move. And I'm so grateful to be on the move with God together at Lake Avenue Church. We love you very much. Look forward to worship on Sunday, and we look forward to connecting with you more in coming days and weeks.